before that, can you move forward? And Matajis can move, will like come towards our left, my left. If we are not sitting, newcomers also, they don't know that, okay, we can sit here like that. Yeah. Huh? Oh, Madhav. Okay. Yeah. Madhav, please. Hare Krishna, Madhava. Yeah, go ahead.
My realization is that, like, nothing stands to Krishna. He is the cause of all causes, and he's like the cause of everything, what happens to us and what happens in our next life before this life. And nothing stands to him. Nothing stands, like illusory energy does not stand against him, and because he's the cause of all causes and nothing can stand against him. Krishna.
Thank you, Madhava. Madhav, for so nicely sharing realization. Okay. Next part of our program. Only two columns will sit Prabhus and let Mataji sit. Prabhu, can we move towards your left? Yeah, maybe right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like that. Only two columns. Rest Mataji sit and Prabhu's this side. Yeah. So next part of our program is Sunday Feast lecture, and today's lecture is going to given by His Grace Ram Tirtha Prabhu. Prabhu is very familiar to our congregation. Prabhu is leading Prasadam distribution team for many years, and he is very knowledgeable in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhu quotes many verses and memorized many slokas, and he is very sincere devotee. Prabhu also raising funds every year in his organization for the temple. So with that we will welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Prabhu.
Hello, Hare Krishna. Only one mic we have, or good? Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you to Satsar Prabhu and Jai Subra Mataji for giving an opportunity. I am not as qualified as they said, but we'll work on it. It's working in progress. That's so we'll start with Jai Radha Madhava, Dhriti. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Jananandana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Jananandana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, devotees, for joining us today in the Sunday feast. We'll just have the prayers, introduction prayers. You can all pray together. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnanandana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Neva Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Krityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnanandana-Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Neva Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya. I don't know the Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta. I don't know, sometimes the mind takes it to want something and then it goes to something. So that's the peculiarity of the mind. Sorry for that. The today's topic is very coincidence with all the same words that the same theme, the kids sloka recitation. So you all familiar with it. So I don't have to, the easy part is that you all very familiar with that. So we'll so it's a very easy verse, very well known to all of you in the Bhagavad Gita, 18.54. So, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labate Param. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labate Param. Okay, so we'll do 3 people, one Mataji, Prabhu, and then one. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati Sama Sarvesu Bhutesu Madbhaktim Labate Param. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. And Prabhu's Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. Translation by Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Very clear, very straightforward. So, as you all know, that in this verse, like Brahmabhuta state, that is Krishna is starting this in this 18th chapter. 18th chapter is a summary, which is again starts with karma, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. This verse is the stepping stone starting of the Bhakti Yoga in the 18th chapter. So far, in the beginning of the 18th chapter, he explains the Nishkama Karma Yoga and then how to renunciate it, how to acquire the knowledge, and then how to acquire the Brahmabhuta qualities. There are 12 qualities that before even this verse the explains, what are those qualities. And once you attain all those, you will be in the Brahmabhuta platform. And then it starts the devotion service. Mad bhakte labate param. It becomes easy. It is the ultimate goal is the devotion. So from here onwards, he goes deep into the devotional practice. So that is the key turning point. Just like in that 1647, how is transitioning from Nishkama Karma Yoga to the next, the Bhakti Yoga. So Yogina observation. This one is the same. Is emphasizing about the Bhakti. So the Brahmabhuta platform, you all know that it is, Brahman realization. I am not this body. I am not, male or woman. You have difference, but I am American. I am here, I am white. I have height. Having all these material attributes, it is all the temporary covering that you have in this material world, but you are ultimately, I am not this body. I'm the spirit soul, different from the matter. This is the matter. That is very simple. Like when I, have that realization, it is, wow, it's like I'm not this body, understanding it. But taking into the deep self-realization of that, I'm not this body, as very deep to be able to understand and digest it. Like, because when you look at the qualities that the 12 qualities and then explains, so all of those, like, stand based on that, this realization of, I'm not this body. But to just able to understand, okay, I'm not this body, the one phrase there is a lot more deeper to have a complete realization of, attaching it. Because in the material world itself, we are attached to the body, right? We have attached to everything, all our external. So that is the moment you realize that I'm not this body, you are prasannatma. He's saying you'll be joyful, because when the moment you are in the in the material world, you have the miseries. But the moment you are away from that, the material concept, you will be the Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. And when you are in that stage, you will be, there is no lamentation, there is no akankshati. You don't want anything because you are detached from all the material things. And then you will see everybody equal. An ant or an elephant, you don't look at it by their strength, by look at it their position, by their wealth, but you will see all the living entities, everything is a spirit soul. So sama sarvesha bhuteshu. And then at that stage, the devotion service becomes very easy. And then you will attain that para bhakti. So that is the essence of this the verse, is to be able to get to the Brahma Bhuta state. So we understand, okay, we are not this body, yes, but that understanding means that okay, yes, we'll separate this from our body because we are engrossed in our body. The soul is inside. You cannot say, okay, the body is, I can separate it out and then okay, I will close all this and then okay, I will be in the Brahman state, realizing no, you cannot, because you are with the body. This body has consciousness inside the body. It is not even though it is a machine in one way, but this machine is very unique. Just like in our mission, any part can be easily replaced. Even the now scientists struggled even to minute things to replace with some other. They can't even create it in the parts here. So in that sense, it is not as a machine that you can separate the parts. So it is, you have the consciousness, and because of the consciousness, this machine is goes to the stages of birth, maintaining offspring, all the stages, it goes through that. So but people often don't realize that consciousness that is inside is there. It's like that I am this body, this is mine. But that consciousness, they won't realize it. They only realize it when it is dead body. When that consciousness leaves, then they realize, there is is gone. But we cannot see it. Can we see that? Scientists say, where is the soul? But they cannot differentiate between the dead body and the living entity. Both exactly the weight, the same, they cannot, because the senses that we have are not perfect. With our imperfect senses, we are coming to the conclusion that, this belongs to me, I am here, this is, because we cannot see it. So that with that imperfect senses, we are hankering for pleasure. It's like Madhava Prabhu said, Matra Sparseshu Kaunteya. It's also sense perception. Because of the senses, in contact with the sense objects and getting enjoyment, we're thinking that enjoyment doesn't last long. You're getting into a misery because that is not a true enjoyment. Yes, we are Krishna, meaning is the jacket. So Krishna means is the greatest pleasure. Krish means the greatest, Na is the pleasure, epitome of the pleasure. We are part and parcel of him, then we should have also pleasure. But our sense pleasure is for our material. We are anchoring for the material pleasure. But we forgot our real pleasure. Because our senses are imperfect. So if we make our senses perfect, then we'll have the real pleasure. Then we don't have any miseries. But our senses, our body has a layers, 5 layers, right? The gross body, and then we have the pranavaya is coming, and then the next one is the senses, and then intelligence, the mind, and then intelligence. So these are the 5 different layers. So out of all these, the layers, and then of course after this intelligence, the soul comes in. So out of all these, the soul is called as a root, the root consciousness. The mind is the route of the consciousness, which connects to the our senses of the gates to the soul with our intelligence. If our mind is not is properly, guided, controlled, then our senses will control us. But if our mind with the right intelligence uses, mind controls it. So that's why the mind is called as a friend and enemy. It depends on, a chariot, right? Whether, a charioteer with the reins, he can control the elephants, or otherwise the horses, or the horse can control the chariot. And then what happens when a horse controls it? The passengers collapse. So it is all completely at the mind. So the moment how, the mind is, guided with proper intelligence, then we will have the right, the destination path to go in. So with that mind is, even in the beginning of, I think, 5th chapter, there is a sarva karmani manasa sannasasta sukhavasi, right? Sarva karmani manasa sannasasta sukhavasi. So it is all with the mind that, you renunciate, sannyasasta, renunciate, then you will be peaceful. Navadwara puredehi naeva kurvan na karyan. So you're not doing literally what it is whatever the activities are doing, you're not doing it. It is just the body that you are doing it. You just keeping that I am doing it, I am suffering it, I am enjoying it. But no, it just the mind tricks you that, you're making you that. But the moment your mind, you say that, okay, yes, I'm not doing it, I'm not the doer. It is because of the karma, this of that, I acquired this body. This body is the temporary. And whatever I go through, pleasure and happiness are the temporary. So then you are immediately relieved from that, the pangs of these miseries or happiness. In fact, there is no happiness, it's a miseries. The happiness, they say, is between the two miseries, what you get is the happiness. So it is all this, the mind. So how you train your mind to this, from this bodily consciousness, then you won't have any of these, the miseries that you have. But of course, the miseries, the work will be there, the struggle will be there, but you won't have the miseries. In this life, you cannot sit alone and say, okay, you can survive. No, you really have to work and you have to go through it, but you won't feel that, sometimes they call, right, if it is, if you do the hardest work with your full, a dedication, intention, love, then you don't feel that, though it is the tough. But sometimes if you don't like it, even making a couple of steps itself, it becomes very difficult. So it is how you train your mind, and then your consciousness will be trained, then you will be able to. So that Prasannatma is not everything will be, it becomes rosy in the life, and then, okay, you don't have to deal with any struggle. The struggle will be there, day-to-day going, everything. But the way how you treat, how you handle the problems will be changed. At that stage, no matter whether you are, going through and, having a hardest path, you still take it, because I am not doer, because karma and Krishna asked me to do it, I will be handling it. Ultimately, you will be able to go cross this boat. So with that is the main theme of this class. So why this is called Brahma Bhuta? Bhuta means living entity, right? Brahma Bhuta means, it's a Brahma. Is it? It's a Brahma. Bhuta is a Brahma. So we are all at one point as Brahma. So, and then Prabhupada call this as the platform, the Brahma Bhuta platform. What is this? The platform is Yad Acharati Sreshta Whatever the great people do it, it becomes a base. So he has established that, right? So that is the basis, the Brahma Bhuta platform. And from there, we fall down into Jiva Bhuta. And we are struggling in that Jiva Bhuta. So, but when Brahma appeared in the lotus stem, there is no one. But he realized it, okay, it's only the Supreme Lord, is only the Lord that I can surrender it. Right? So he did a great austerity. Tadatyavainadastavitam sutta prabudevanada brahmana tatsyapa varga saranam taupadamulam. Tatsyapa varga saranam taupadamulam. You are the only ultimate source. So that kind of state is the Brahma Bhuta. And from there we fall down to the Jiva Bhuta. And then we are struggling. So how do we attain back to this, the Brahma Bhuta state? From the Jiva Bhuta, where we are struggling and then hankering for the material pleasures and not succeeding, to the Brahma Bhuta, where we'll have the Prasannatma, peace. So you needed to understand our source, where we came from, how we came, why, what is that we landed here, how long you're going to be here, how we're going to struggle, and then how this world is going to, wind up. What we are here is it permanent or is it temporary? So all that is actually, this whole class is started with our Bhakti Stasi class when I was listening to the verse, the chapters in 13, because most of the time, oftentimes my knowledge is between 1 to 6, 10, we went back and forth, we never move forward. Always stuck in the beginning only. So, like in Nishkarma Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So this knowledge section, I haven't really glanced much deeper until the Bhakti Shastri class, where we are going through each verse by verse. Then in the 13th and 14th chapter, the conclusions of both 13th and 14th chapter are to attain the Brahma Bhuta state. So that's how this class to me was, as like I decided to pick that is because, so if you understand well in those 13th and 14th chapter of the Gita, you will have, much more deeper understanding of the Brahma Bhuta states. So in the 13th chapter, one of the verses, Yavat Sanjayate Kinchit Sattvam Staram Jangamam Kshetram Kshetragno Samyogam Tadvid Bhartalpasa. Kshetram Kshetragno Samyogam. So 13th chapter is talking about those. Krishna asked about who is Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragna. What is others? Knowledge, Jnanam, Gnayam. So he's asking what are those? Yeah. Knowledge of object. So Kshetra means the field of activities. Kshetragna is the object of the knowledge, who knows that the knowledge. So here Arjuna Krishna is saying that all this is by the glance of the Kshetragna. So by the Lord's glance on this material activities, this material world is the formed. So in how this Kshetragna means, as you know, like this, the whole Goloka chart you have it, Goloka and then Narayana. And from Narayana, we have the Karnodaksha Vishnu, which is in the causal ocean. He is from the second Sankarshana, right? So the quadruple, from the second Sankarshana of that one comes from, which comes from the Narayana, and then from the second Sankarshana is Karnodaksha Vishnu, which is Mahavishnu called. He is lying on the causal ocean, which are basically cause of the causes. By glancing on the Pradhana is the unmanifested modes of material nature. And then it's unmanifested, which by his glance, then it started agitating. That's where from that pradhana, it starts, the prakriti starts it from there. From the prakriti, the mahatattva is formed. Mahatattva is, which is manifested, and then from manifested, and also the modes are initiated, kind of started developing. In the pradhana state, all those is nothing gets manifested, and then even all those modes are in the inert state, completely in the. By the glance, then it starts developing of that mahatattva, which is the outermost layer of the universe. And how the universe comes is from the pores of the Lord in the causal ocean. So you get the very first outer layer is the mahatattva, which is the intelligence also, the mahatattva, cosmic intelligence. And one, as a time lapse from this cosmic intelligence, the layer of the false ego is developing. That is the second layer of the false ego. And once the false ego starts interacting with the modes, then the material creation starts. So the very first material creation of the outer layer is called with the modes of the ignorance, right? With the mode of ignorance, which is in from the mahatattva, when it starts manifesting and interaction with the false ego, the outer layer ether is formed. And as from that layer, there are 5 panchabhutas comes. And then each one, as it manifests it, the sense object gets created. Like in the ether, the sound is formed, sense object. So you have mahatattva, then you have false ego, and then with mode of ignorance with false ego, the ether found with the sense object of the sound. And then from there, when the mode of passion, right? So gets generated. But when the ignorance, we have the ether, and from ether, then the next layer is the air, which is to pass the sound. And then with air, the sense object that is formed is the touch. So you have the first one is the sound, and the next layer is the touch. And then air also have it also sound. So as the sense objects gets created, every layer will also have that, these sense objects. So the ether has a sound, and then air has a sound and the touch. And then the third layer is formed, the fire, which has the form. So you have a sound, a touch, and then the form. Then the fourth layer is the water, which has the taste. Then the next layer is the earth is formed, which has the fragrance, smell. So each of the layer have the associated sense objects, and then it acquires from the previous layer the additional sense objects. So all these 5 sense objects are created as the panchabhutas are created. So that is the third stage. The first one is mahatattva, second is the false ego, third stage is all the panchabhutas. So this is the third stage of the old material creation. And then from there, the fourth stage is the mode of passion. When the false ego interacts with the mode of passion, And that's where the senses, and then the working senses, knowledge acquiring senses, all these 5 senses, like, ear, nose, mouth, touch, and then hands, legs, and Aristotle's mouth. Those are 5 more. So total 10. The Shodha, they call. So those are knowledge acquiring senses, working senses. So those 10 are created. And the next one is the stage 5 is the mind. When the mind with mode of goodness gets created, so the mind is being created. And then with that, there are 11 demigods also. I will start creating, manifesting it. So out of those Brahma, so this is the stage 5. The next is a big twist here. So far, the material creation, everything was a perfect stage 1 through 5. The 6th stage is the avidya, ignorance. Because of this, we all fall under ignorance. Because of this avidya. So why whole stage was perfect, everything, but why the avidya is came in? Because if this one is not there, probably we would have had much more with. He has given a knowledge stage 4. In the 5 is given, with the mode of goodness, demigods, but in stage 6 introduced avidya. Is because free will. If Lord is giving a free will, you need to have choices. You cannot have a dictatorship. It is us to pick up, right? So is given the avidya. But at the same time, it is not like, is like dark. Is it dark ever like, you can make? It's only when there is no light, you have it dark. It's lack of, like in the 13 chapters, they talked about the knowledges. Any, like 12, 13 knowledges, they, is described, who has not. Anything that is not is, ignorance. So same like, like there is, this avidya is because lack of the vidya. So, and also giving the choices, the free will. So even in Dhruva Maharaj says, Esmin viruddhagateyo ainisham patanti vidyadayo vivdasekya anupurva tad brahma vishvabekam anantamedam anandamatram avikaramaham prapadde. He says there are 2 contradicting ones, energy slot in yours. Esmin viruddhagateyo. Vidyadya means like there is a knowledge and there is a ignorance. Both are continuously flowing. So even Dhruva Maharaj realizes that he will quote that. So how we can get out of this avidya, this ignorance, right? Even we read that the prayers early morning to Guru Vandana. Prema Bhakti Jahavata Avidya Vinashat. Right? If you have a pure devotion service, then you won't have this ignorance. You will develop the knowledge and you will have the right. So the best example for this is the gopis. They don't have any speculative knowledge. They don't have any whole lot. All they know is, for them is Krishna. All they want is every minute, every moment. In fact, in Gopi Gita, like we were reciting in when Arjun Sakha Prabhu came, one of them is that a verse is that Atati yad bhavannahan kanam triti yugaitam tavam apashyatam kotila kuntala sri mukham sate. So it's like triti yugaitam tavam apashyatam. Truti is, Prabhupada says, 1/1700th second. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you mean it, Triti Yuga, Nimishame Yuga, right? But here, Triti Yuga is, and then they question the foolish creator. Jada Udikshaye Pakshma Krudish. The foolish created is created, the eyelids, Pakshma Krudish, Pakshma means is the lids, eyelids. Because of that, we have to close and open, and then that Truti is also for us is making separation from the Lord. That kind of devotion they have, then they won't have any avidya. When you have that kind of, the devotion of those. And even Arjuna, he is right. He said, it's like, I am confused. Karpanya dosha, right? Subha. He has that miserly. I'm surrendering to you. So because he was known, he is attached to the body, he is attached to the friends, he is attached, okay, he's going to kill all those. And he's thinking that all this material, but not that he has attached, he's representing from us. And then Krishna eradicated all his from the Gita. So he has given the knowledge. So it is only to the bhakti that we can, move away from this, the avidya. So even in Bhishma Stuti, he says, Vyavahirta pratama mukam niriksha swajanavadaha dvimukasya dosha buddha kumaita haradatma vidyayas charanarata paramasya tasya mestu. Kumaita, eradication, right? Kumaita haradatma vidyayas. By his knowledge, he's giving knowledge, he can eradicate this ignorance. So these are the 6 stages of the creation by the Lord, by glancing it. These are called sarga. Then there are 3 more stages that comes in next, which is before that is the Lord, the Brahma comes from the stem. Within that universe, Garbhodaksha Vishnu comes. From Karnodaksha, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and from Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from that lotus stem, the Lord Brahma, it takes birth. And then from the Lord, then we get that the very first stage Brahma creates is the immovable, and all the mountains and then trees, where they have the nourishment from the bottom to the top. That's the 7th stage. The next is he creates all the animals which have the nourishment in the horizontal. 7, that's 8th. The next he creates the humans, which nourishment is from the top to bottom. So these are the main 9 stages. The first 6 stages are called sarga, direct. The next 3 stages called visarga. So all these stages are complete creation or Sankhya philosophy. The 24 elements. You have the 5 panchabhutas, 5 sense objects, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses. Then you have the mind, you have the intelligence, false ego, and then the pradhan, which is unmanifested. All these 24 is a Sankhya philosophy, which is the kshetra. So this is how the material manifestation happened. Kshetragno samyogam. So that's how we fall down from the spiritual world, that we want to separate it. We don't know when, why. It's still a puzzle question. Everybody says why is a question, but there's no answer to that. So we fall down. So then from fall down to here, this material world is, then it goes to the next verse that explains how this material world sustain, how long it will sustain. So the the next one verse that in that 13th chapter says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtanti parameshwaram vinashyanta vinashyantam ya pashyati sa pashyati. So samam sarveshu bhuteshu. So here everybody came here as a spirit soul. So you have to look at everybody in equal. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. And then within every living entity, there is a super soul, Tishtanti Parameshwaram. But where are this soul and super soul? Vinashyant avinashyantam. Avinashyantam. In the destructible material body, they are. Vinashyanta. No? But avinashyantam means it's indestructible. So the soul and super soul are avinashyantam. They are not destructible, but they are in the body. Means we came into the material world with a temporary body, which will be destructible. But the soul and super soul are not. So, but we understand this body is permanent. We hold it. We caught it. We acquired it. It is our something we achieve it. I mean, but over the period of time, they realize it goes in the deterioration mode, goes to maintains offsprings deterioration, and then takes up. So, but the soul is in this not destructible. You cannot break. You cannot burn. So we know that. So we just change like a garment. Like every day we wear a new garment, just like that soul in this. It looks like long garment, but it is relatively very small when you compare it. So that is the how this material world is continuing. But out of all these 24 Sankhya philosophies, there is one more entity that makes it very impact in this material world. I went to one temple in the summer when I went to India. So there, they have written some quotes on the temple wall. One of them, they said, okay, oh Lord, give me something that, makes me happiness when I'm in sad. And when I'm sad, I should feel happy. What is that makes me? Does anyone guess? Lord's name? Okay. No, much more, yes. Lord's name always makes it everything, but everything comes from him only. So what is that? In from that? Yes, temporary. But why? Yes, you're getting it temporary. Yes. When you're sad, if you know that it is temporary, then you will be happy. Yes. And happy, you will come to know, oh, it is temporary. How it will be? Why it is temporary? Time bound. It's the time that makes it. It is happiness. You realize that, okay, this happiness won't last. You know this. I'm happy now. After that, this will become routine, and then I need something more bigger than that. It is the time. That's why in the Sankhya philosophy, the 25th element is called time factor. Is a personification of Kala. Because of the time, these 14 planetary systems came. The time is, whole thing is running in all those. And this is the time that makes destruction, pralaya. And then the time here is a cyclic. All these attributes cyclic. And time makes it anything perishable. We don't have this in the spiritual world. But here everything is, time bound. So it makes it temporary. So the time bound we have. So that is the factor here, Vinashyanta, makes it. So, so how that pralaya comes, how it goes through it. So, in I think it Drumar places Kalpanta etad ekal jatiragat Kalpanta etad akila jatarena grahanam te se pumansar gananda sakanda nink ena bisintu roho kanchana loka padma garbhetivan bhagavate pranasoti tasmai. At the end of the kalpa, kalpanta at etad akila jatarena, everything gets merged. The kalpa. So it is calculated, right? Whole cycle is calculated. So the whole life of the Brahma is 100 years. So in that 100 years, in this where we are in the 51st year, which is called Pararda. The first part is called Pradama Pradarda, second is Deep, that's why they call Deepararda. So we are in the second one, Deepararda. And we are on first day. Every day has a day and night. And then that is, day is called, there are 2 kalpas. That we are in that first kalpa. And then in the kalpa, there are 14 manvantaras. Each manvantara has a 71 chaturyugas. And then the chaturyuga has the 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. So there are 4 yugas, and then that is 1 chaturyuga. Then you have that 71 chaturyugas is, 1 manvantara. We are in which manvantara? 7th manvantara, Vaivashya Manu. We are in the Vaivashya Manu. And we are in this 28th, chaturyuga, 28th. So even these kalpas, 30 kalpas have names. The first kalpa is called the Brahma kalpa or the Varaha kalpa, because when Brahma appeared. So all this kalpa is 1000 chaturyugas. So 14 times 71 is 994. Okay. So that's that many chaturyugas. Not 1000 we call 1000 chaturyugas for the calculation easy, but it is 994 chaturyugas. The remaining time is 15 sandhi yugas, which is 15 satya yugas, which is equivalent to 6 chaturyugas time, because each one is equivalent to the 4 kali yugas. So 15 times 4 is 60. 60 means 6 chaturyugas. So that's why in the time sense it is 1000 chaturyugas. So that is 1 kalpa. That is 1 day, half day. The same is the right is pralaya. There is nothing during that time. So only the day we have is which is equivalent to 1000 chaturyugas is almost 4.32 billion, right? So which is equivalent to 3.11 trillion per year, and then 311 trillion years. It's long, pretty long. For us, from our perspective, but from the spiritual, from the other ones, that their timings, they're different. Like for example, the weights here, weights in Mars, it's not the same. The time there takes per day is different here. So same, like as it goes up, we have the duration is 1000 with the changes. But from our side is 311 trillion years. But the fact is that it is all time bound temporary is weird. I mean, from that, ours is 100 years, is even if it is 100 years. So that is the vinashanta vinashantam, because everything will be perished. Nothing will last. So in the pralayas, there are actually how the pralaya starts. This and because end of the kalpa is a one pralaya. End of 100 years Brahma is another pralaya. And then there is a nitya pralaya, which anyone will die, everybody goes through it. That is also a pralaya. And there is another one, fourth pralaya, which is at the sign of dissolution when they merge into the Brahman, is also is another pralaya. So there are 4 different types of pralaya. So before the pralaya starts, 100 years, the fire has come from the lower planet system, Atala Satala, is fire comes for 100 years. Then for another 100 years, Samvardhaka rains, you've seen like in the Govardhan's trainers. And then in Bhagavatam explains when that rain cloud comes, the drop of the cloud, the water, is the size of the elephant trunk. So that much torrential rain comes. For 100 years, fire, and 100 years, water. When that happens, then end of that, all these bodies will become prey to someone. These are all material bodies, right? Perishes. And when all this or become someone's the food, all of these preys become merged into the earth. Then ultimately all this becomes into seed. So actually, if you heard it, in architect there is one seed vault. So if anywhere that if any of those calamity comes or anything, they wanted to save it, so that's why they keep backup in the architect. The seed vault is there, so you can Norway, I think, manages that. They have that. You can keep that. So they realize that the source is everything is a seed. But when even the seed merges into the earth, with all this pralaya, with all this fire and everything, the earth loses its fragrance. When it loses the fragrance, the earth will go and merge into the water. Just how it came from the evolved it, the Panchaputas, the same way that the reverse will happen. And as it reverse happening, each of these sense objects gets dissolved into the. So from the earth, it goes into the water. Then when the taste is lost, water will go and then merge into the fire. And then when the form is lost, then fire will go into the air. And then from air, it goes into the sound. And from the sound, it goes and merges into the Mahatattva. It goes back. Same thing, our senses. It goes and into the, from our mode of passion. And then, so all of these in that modes will go back into the Mahatattva. And from Mahatattva, it goes into Pradhan, and then Prakriti to the Pradhan. So the Prakriti is of the material manifestation, maintaining, and dissolution is the Prakriti. And when it goes into the Pradhan, that's where it becomes unmanifested. So the Pradhan is unmanifested, and then even that undifferentiated modes is the Pradhan. But Prakriti is manifested, but indifferentiated, because they are not completely. But it is started, man. The Mahat is manifested, differentiated. So gets confused the terminology of the order: Pradhan, Prakriti, Mahatattva. So the point here is that everything is time bound. You are not this body. You came to the material world by the glance of the Lord. This material world is created, and then you came here. Then, but the time bound, though it is looks like eternity with 311 trillion years, but from the Lord's perspective, it is just a glance. It's a glance. Just like you take a breath out, breathe in to the Lord, that's where this universe gets created, and then it gets merged back. So if we understand that, we know who we are, why we are here, and then what is that this struggle, that you in this material world that you are going through it. So that's the how much time I have, Prabhu? 5 more minutes. It's always the question. So, but how it is this Brahma Bhuta state is, we understand it, but we still attached to all the material things. Everything is, that is even though it's a temporary, we understand it. Even I understand it is a temporary, but I'm still hankering it. Right? I know that, so today I'm giving a class doesn't mean that I left everything and then no. I go back after this as an elephant, after as soon as comes out of the lake and then put the mud, and I will also okay, so I need to go and earn money. I need to do everything. So, but we cannot take that, because we are in the material world. When we go out and our senses are, hankering it, and then our modes gets affected and all. So what is the way that, we can, overcome? Is that it's not just, okay, I'm not this body, but understand that I am this body, but how I can use this body to come out of this. Because you cannot abstain and you cannot go to the, not use senses or anything. It's not possible. You have to use that, your senses. But use that for the purpose of the Lord. Use this body. When you have the knife, and then that purpose is someone can kill someone, or someone can cook and offer to the Lord and have prasadam and nourish the body so that we can maintain the good body. It's an instrument. So how we use it is in our hands. How we can use it is in our thought and minds. It is all how to train. Uddharate atmana atmanam atmanam avasadayot. Atma atmana bandhur atma ripuratmanaha. It's a friend and enemy. You can use it for different purposes. But once you make a right choice, having a good association with the devotee, and then start developing the bhakti, then yes, I am this body, I have this body, this is temporary, but let me use this in the service of the Lord. Your activities will not differ. You continue to do it, you continue to go and earn money, but what you're earning is, okay, I'm doing it for the service of Lord. I am for the family that as Lord is given, and then I will give it to some charity. It's not for my sense enjoyment. It's not my money. It is not I am holding it. It is not I am doing it. It is for the Lord purpose. If something I wish is not coming, it is the Lord's wish. Like someone, like I was reading it, it has made me very connected. So always we go to the Lord with big wish list, right? So I every day, and if He gives it, I'll feel very happy. And if He doesn't give it, oh my God, I didn't get it. But they said, Acharya said, that's the Lord's wish is higher than your wish. So He's given that. So that means, you accept it. So you train the mind in that mode, then doesn't matter any problems you get, anything, you will be able to handle it. So that's the difference between the devotee and the non-devotee. They all the same. Externally, everything is the same, but the activities, the thought, the how they implement it is completely different. Devotee doesn't mind, getting up, 4 o'clock and then doing chanting, but for them is, very difficult. It's all how you train the mind. Then you get into the state, to the practice, to the devotion. It's like other day, the Madhava came and said, "Oh, you have a gap shirt." He said, "This is not a gap shirt." He said, "Govinda Madhi Purusham." He make it everything into the into that spiritual, connecting it. I was like, yeah, that is good. So it is. So I don't, like Gap brand, wearing it. It is okay, Lord. There's no remembering every moment in the Lord. So with that, we get to know that next we use this body, not this body temporary. We will be able to progress into the bhakti, and then we can handle even the materialistic problems also. I've seen personally a family who has gone through tremendous, but their dedication didn't even hinder when they had calamities. So because they're fully surrendered, they know that Lord is giving because in this material world there is impossible that everything will be rosy, no matter how much you have, so okay, I have been doing, I have money or anything. It's like a moment is enough to get into the situations, unpredictable situations, and it is only to that devotion service we can practice it, we can overcome. You will be in that state, you will be prasannatma. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. And then you can progress the devotion service from that stage. Okay. Thank you very much. I think I'll conclude, Prabhu. Or
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful lecture. Devotees, if anyone have any questions or comments or reflections you want to share. Yeah, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful, it was very good listening to what you said. You covered a lot of things, and at the end, there was also a point like training the mind. Any thoughts on training the mind? Because I think that's where it becomes very hard. You gave the example like we have the knife, we can use it to serve the Lord, or we can use to kill someone. But our mind comes into the picture there, right? So any thoughts there, what we should be doing to train the mind?
so in the 12th chapter, right, they said in the devotion service, he said, Mayeva mana adasta, my buddhim niveshaya, nivashishasi mayeva, ata urdam na samsaya. Next verse he says, ata chittam saknoti. What is that? Abhyasena asam. Yeah. So it is practice. So it is very difficult to train the mind. Even if you train the mind, any disturbance comes, then again it goes back to the normal. So it is constant practice. So the practice, you have to make it very, rigid practice, because very easy to trick the mind. The mind very easy to trick us. Oh, we have this short term like this. Okay, today is okay. You can do it. And then tomorrow is okay. Yesterday you did. Today also you can do that. It's okay. So one time you started, that's it. That's the diversion path goes it. Even for me also, So it is only to the practice and then the another one is with the devotees association. When you are in the association of devotees, it always helps it. like-minded devotees, when you have with them, and then sometimes individually, your mind will be flickering, but when you have the association with others, it will be a little bit hesitant. So then you take step back because there is other one competition, so or support, right? So it pushes. So those are other couple of things, like with the practice and then with the association. I don't know, Prabhu, you want to add anything? So, and then also having the right knowledge also important. Like when like Shastra, like it's like when you read the scriptures, you realize it, you understand it. So you will get the right knowledge. So then you will be able to, your intelligence able to control the mind. Instead of your mind controlling it, your intelligence, okay, this is right, this is wrong. Then you will be able to make the right choices. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions?
So you said that we should like control our mind, but like what about people with like mental illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar mood disorder,
Sorry.
depression? Like how can people with mental illnesses control their mind?
So the mental illness. So sometimes, right, we say like yes, I can do everything, right? But it is that the some people cannot lift a hand, and then cannot lift anything, and then we think that easily we can lift it. It is that the super soul that sanctions, right?
Yeah.
So there for everything that it is goes through in the super soul. So that that super soul, for them, they have that the limitation that is given to them. So but still for them is, you need to bring them into that consciousness. So everybody have the limitations. Someone cannot walk faster, someone cannot raise it, someone have legs broke. So they all come with these limitations, right? So but even that limitations is because of their past karma. They have to the work on it. So don't really much how we can give them, but by the guiding them, by giving them, because they lack, because suppose a physical person they have physiotherapy, right? They make the physiotherapy and then make them strong. So it is like we have to help them because of this, the past karma that they have.
Yeah.
It's not just mental or anything. It could be physical. It could be so many things. Sometimes people are blind, but one thing is, Krishna never makes it them tough. He makes it to their capacity, right? More mercy. So there are people who are actually blind, have so good memory, so good, like they just one time here, like they can get it. But even the person who has everything is cannot. So there is he Krishna never puts them in a extreme difficult situation. We make them ourselves into that extreme difficult situation, but but of course you have to go through the karma that you have. But he gives us so many opportunities, but we don't use that. We go away from that. No. Krishna bole se jiva anadir bahir mukha atava maya thare ko. What is that again? Samsara dukkha. Because we forget, but he gives all the the opportunities to use. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, devotees, for attending this. Thank you, Prabhu, for wonderful class and wonderful details. Please give a big round of applause to the Prabhu. Okay, due to the time constraint, we are ending here. But if you have any question, still talk to Prabhu. Prabhu is around. So we are moving on to the next part of our program, is Arati. Today, Arati performed by Rasamai Lakshmi Priya, Devidasi, and Jishnu is going to sing the Kirtan. You and me. What's your name? We can accommodate more people. Kirti.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, please bow down to the deities. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। इस्कान फाउंडर आचार्य श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। बृहद मृदंगा की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada की जय।
Namaste Narashingaya. Namaste Narashingaya. Namaste Narashingaya.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Prahaladadayine.
Praladadayine.
Hiranyakashipurakshaha.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Shila Tankanakalaye.
Ito nashingo parato nashingo.
Parato Narsingo.
Yato yato yamitato nashingo.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingo.
Tahe nashingo hidaye nashingo.
He Narsingo Ridaye Narsingo.
Narasingamadim sharanam prapade.
Narasimha Madem Sharanam Prapade.
Tavakara kamalavare naka. Adbhuta Shingam Dalita Ki Ranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavadvaita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Adakara Kamala Bale Naka Adbhuta Shringa Chalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Breka Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Jagadisha Jai Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Narsinghadev Jaya Narsinghadev Jaya Narsinghadev Jaya Narsinghadev
Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev
Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad
Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad
Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva
Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva
Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol